Good evening, everyone. Am I audible? If you can hear me, please type a yes in the chat window. Okay, good evening. Thank you for the response. Right, so I got it. So today as you know, we have joined here for this profile evaluation series that we have. And today we have ISB with us. We have Amit from ISB Indian School of Business with us. And I'm very happy to introduce Mr. Amit Tyagi, who is an associate director at Indian School of Business. He has 14 years of experience across sales, marketing, admissions in the study in education sector in India, and currently is leading the admissions as well as digital marketing team for the PGP at ISB. So a very warm welcome to you, Amit. And we will be starting with the webinar very soon. Meanwhile, I'll just introduce Jamboree for those of you who are probably new to Jamboree or who are attending this sort of series for the first time. So we provide solutions for entrance examinations such as GMAT, GRE, IELTS, TOEFL, which are essentially required if you are looking at MBA, if you're looking at master's or undergraduate education. Plus, we have an excellent admission counseling team and admission counseling services, which also assist students in preparing their documents and other sort of admission advice. And along with that, we also host these value added services in association with our partners. So before we go to this profile evaluation series, so the agenda is basically Amit will give us a context of how admissions AdCom look at various profiles and insights into that. And then we have four volunteers. We've picked up four profiles: Romil, Vinayak, Abhishek, and Siddharth. So I hope each of you are there in the session. Um, and we will be calling your names so that you can equally participate in the session. And other participants, I request you to hold on to your questions till we open this for Q&A session. So over to you, Amit, and let's take it forward.
Sure. Thanks, Shivani, and welcome to all the participants of this session. I look forward to discussing various aspects of how we will look at a profile at ISB, what are our selection criteria, and how we the kind of selection process which we have. So now any profile, first of all, we do not require a CV as per se for you to apply to ISB. We have an online application portal where we'll be capturing all the details in our own format. So I'll not be talking about any formatting things or how to write a CV or all those things in this particular session, but I'll be discussing more on the components of profile evaluation which we do for our candidates, and I'll try to discuss those components with examples from the volunteers who have been part of this or who have volunteered to be part of this session. So now regarding how we look at profiles at ISB, so any profile that comes into us, it is via the application process where we capture the ACADS, we capture the work history of the candidates, we ask the candidates to write the two essays, we ask the candidates to enter the or GMAT scores, the details of the scores, when was the score taken, when test taken, and ask them to send the scores through us through our official channel as well. And for fifth is we ask them for a letter of recommendation from somebody who knows them closely at work and can vouch for their skill sets. Right. So now we capture all these five things, and this becomes your profile at ISB. Now at ISB, once all the application comes in, your profile goes out to at least three evaluators who could be people from senior members of the admission team or people who are alums, senior alums, people who are senior faculty members, and they will give a profile score to each of the profile which application which comes into us. Now, profile score, as I mentioned, is going to be a quantitative score in which the evaluators will assign a quantitative score to five factors: your ACADS, again, your work history, your test scores will have some weightage, your essays, and your letter of recommendation. So all these five factors will become a profile score given by one of the by three evaluators, and the average of these three becomes your overall profile score. And this is used to determine your uh, selection for interviews. So every year we have a cutoff for profile score. People above that particular cutoff are called for interviews. So that's how the process for evaluation, profile evaluation at ISB works. We look at a holistic profile-based evaluation, which consists of those 5 parameters. And in case you feel that it's all about balancing your profile. So in case you feel that your ACADS are not good, or ACADS are above average, not excellent, you cannot go back and change them now. They're cast in stone. But what you can do is you can balance them by your work history or by your GMAT GRE score or your essays per se. Letter of recommendation, of course, is going to be just a validation of things which you have done. We're just getting a validation from somebody who knows you closely, and that's just that. So it will not change drastically from what your work history or other things are. So having said that, you should always look to balance your profile in terms of getting a good profile score for getting an interview call from ISB. So that's all I want to talk about the selection criteria. So how we look at profiles, we look at the profile score, which consists of 5 things, just to summarize. And those 5 things are your ACADS, your work history, your test scores, your essays, and your letter of recommendation, which will give us an idea of what kind of experiences you bring to the table, what kind of skill sets you bring to the table. So having said that, let's now start evaluating the profiles. Let's start discussing all these 5 parameters based on some live examples of the volunteers who have volunteered to be part of this particular activity. So who should we go with first?
So if anybody has a preference, you can raise your hand, or so I do see some raised hands here. Yeah, I think not Abhishek, but we can go with Romil first.
Romil, sure.
So Romil, Prashant, maybe you can unmute and put Romil also here so that we can have a live interaction with him.
So I'll just open Romil's profile. Yeah. So Romil, you are there?
Yeah, hi.
Hi, Romil. So I will just open your profile, and I'm now sharing my screen. Right. So is my screen visible to everybody?
Yes, it is visible.
Yeah. Okay.
We have your video also on, if it's comfortable then.
Hi, Romil. Good to see you.
Yeah.
Yeah. So so we'll first talk on ACADS. So at ISB, when we look at an ACADS is of course an integral part of the profile score. But again, there's a recency effect also. So in ACADS, we'll look more at the recent academic qualifications or academic marks rather than your older ones. And in ACADS, we'll also look at what institute you have done your what university you have done your course from, what course you have done, and then whether you have a master's, whether you have undergrad, and of course we look at your scores. So now in ACADS itself, we can you can still balance your overall ACADS. For example, if Romil, I can see here is from Indian Institute of Technology Kanpur, which is a very well-known institute. So he gets some points here straight away. But even if people are not from Indian Institute of Technology, you can still cover it up by getting higher scores. And at ISB, we also go to the extent of normalizing scores across various universities and various programs. For example, we understand that somebody from Pune University getting 80% and somebody in Anna University getting 80% will not be equivalent, because in Anna University the marks tend to be on the higher side. So here, if you look at Romil's profile, he is a master in MTech in solid mechanics and design with a GPA of 7.8 from Indian Institute of Technology Kanpur. He has done his BTech from GTU, and he has been a college topper. Right, Romil, if I remember correctly, and you have scored 27th rank in the university. So straight away, here in terms of ACADS, Romil stands a very high chance of getting a very good score in the academic section. So when the evaluators go through his academic details, academic history, they would give he stands to get a very good score here in the academic history front, right? So anything you want to ask specifically, Romil, on the academic part before we move to the work experience? Am I audible?
Yeah,
Romil,
my
do you have?
network
Yeah.
was interrupted. Sorry for that.
Yeah. So, Romil, do you have any questions on your ACADS or how ISB will evaluate you in terms of ACADS?
Yeah, I got one question. So, observing clearly, so after my completion of BTech, B,
So, I'm not able to hear you. Can maybe even type in your question
I was
in the
like
chat.
planning for a gate examination. Sorry.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
So I was planning for gate examination, and I was like not much into the other offerings which I was getting. So I joined my family business. It is a quite small business working in a normal workshop. It is a glass designing process. So I was helping hand with my uncle, parallelly coordinating other activities like getting job orders from the architect. So managing the supplies for that. So how to showcase.
Okay, so your voice is was breaking a bit, but I get your question. Your question, if I can just summarize, is that you were after your after your graduation, you're working with a family business where you were, which is not very in terms of size a big size, but you were working on getting orders, getting businesses. But if I understand correctly, the business is in mechanical area, right?
Yes.
Yes. So now we come to your work, CADS, work experience. I take that as part of work experience, right? Now, if we look at your work experience, you have a work experience from May 15th onward, right? Right, and that is uh, sorry, last 2 years you've been working with Tata Motors
Tata Motors, right?
from July 18th till current date. Right? And prior to that, you were saying you had work experience from May 15th to August 16th in your family business.
Yes.
Okay, right. So now we come to the work experience part of Romil's this thing. So if you see, you have a lot of work experience. First of all, I just want to clarify the work experience part. What is constituted as full-time work experience and what we count as work experience. So at ISB, we look for 24 months of minimum work experience before you can join the PGP program. And work experience, there are three criteria we should follow. First is work experience should be full-time. Full-time in the sense that it should be something which you are doing or at a full-time level. There should be no concurrent academic activity or a work activity along with that work experience. For example, if I give an example, you cannot have a work experience from Jan 15th to May 15th because it will clash with your undergrad, right? So in that case, if you have been working with a family business between those 6 months, it will be a part-time work experience. The full-time work experience will only be counted after you graduate from your after the graduation date from your undergrad. Same thing with any other thing. And if you're doing two experiences simultaneously, one of them has to be part-time, right? So that's the first criteria of work experience, that it has to be full-time. Second is work experience should be a paid work experience, right? You should not be doing it as a volunteer activity. It should be a paid work experience wherein you're getting some remuneration uh, in lieu of the work being done, right? So that's the second work experience. And third thing is that should be some documentation for you to show that you have been working in that particular organization, some documentation trail. So if you work in an organization, you have pay slips or you have an offer letter. If you work in a startup, you have your registration documents and so on, so forth, or maybe GST bills and so on and so forth. Some sort of document is required for your work experience. Now, in your case, you are saying that, I have worked in a family business. Perfectly fine. We accept family business as a valid work experience, but you should be in a position to show your pay slips, or even if you've not been paid for that particular this thing, since it's a family business, you should be able to show that it's a family business. When somebody related to you closely, your family members like your father, your uncle, should be one of the own proprietors or board of directors on the organization, right? So that's one, we accept it. Now, as far as we accept it, that's one thing. Second is, how much is it relevant, right? So now, if I look at your overall work experience, if I look at your overall profile, it's mostly in mechanical engineering, right? So you have done your undergrad in mechanical engineering, where you've got very good scores. Then you have done your masters also in solid mechanics, and after that you're working in Tata Motors. And in between that 1 year of work experience was also in an organization which was in the area of mechanical engineering, right? So now the question here is, what kind of skill sets have you gained from that 1 year of work experience at your family business? Was it just a paper pushing job, or have you gained something? If you had said that my family business was in diamond polishing and I worked there for a year, then I would have been really skeptical, because what value would have added to your overall profile. But here, in your case, it's a part of a mechanical industry, and you get some exposure out of it. You have to decide what you've got in terms of maybe the operation of an organization, or maybe how organizations work in mechanical area, what are the challenges they face. If you know those skill sets, those will help you, of course, in your masters or in your thesis which you decide, and those will help you in your current job at Tata Motors also, because you have that perspective, right? So that is what takeaways you have to show in your work experience, and it's definitely valid. It's definitely acceptable. Family business is definitely acceptable at ISB. In fact, for a lot of programs, we look at for ILP, we encourage people to in fact have entrepreneurship experience as well, to have your own startups and then come to ISB. Family business definitely is acceptable. So that I can say. Now, again, if I look at your overall work experience, it's more towards mechanical engineering technical side. Now I can come to the next question. Why do you want to do an MBA? And that's a very important question. All of you who are looking at getting a profile evaluated should have some idea of, right? So, and that will help you decide your next part of your application. That is the essays. Now we have 2 essays in our application, and there's a clear-cut requirement from those 2 essays. In the first essay, we look at your self-awareness. What kind of qualities you bring in to the table, how self-aware you are, right? And about you as a person. The second essay we look at is your career vision. What do you want to do in your career, right? So, for example, Romil here has been a mechanical engineer. He has worked, he's done MTech in mechanical engineering. He's now working in Tata Motors, especially in the research center, engineering research center. And now the question is, what skill sets has Romil got out of this particular activity till now? His acads, his work experience, his the acads and work experience, and how does he intend to use those skill sets along with ISB's program to build a career for yourself? So I can ask you clearly, why do you want to do an MBA, Romil? What kind of industries do you foresee going to after ISB?
Yeah, so the first thing is about the career change. So looking at the like 5-year timeline. So from the engineering work, right now I'm working on the engine calibration. So slowly I'll be put forward to the project management side, where more of the work would be on the paper, managing the project and many other things. So if after all I'll be end up doing that particular job only, then after getting a good amount of 4 year of engineering experience, I would rather prefer to get a proper management degree and do the same work, which can take my career on a better path or the smoother path. So that is the primary purpose for getting MBA. And the second thing for the ISB is because I have already worked in an Indian firm, though it's a MNC, but the culture and every aspect, the business management and the customers are also mainly targeting to the Indian subcontinent. So ISB as a part, it would be help me to understand about the Indian business. So that
Got
is
it.
the two reasons.
Got it. So I think your second reason is very spot on, where you say that you want to work in India, so you want to do an MBA from an Indian perspective, and ISB will help you get that perspective. First reason which I understand is that you are saying that you have already got 2 years of engineering experience now, and slowly you'll move on to managerial roles, project management roles, and you want to get ready for those kind of roles by doing a MBA. Am I correct? Is that the reason?
Yeah, correct.
Got it. Got it. So totally, spot on. One is you're given reason why I want to do an MBA. Second is you're given reason why I want to do an MBA from ISB. Now, this would be a very good answers for an interaction which we are having here. But now, when you are going to write an essay, you might have to go a bit deeper. For example, you might have to start thinking of, of course, I have now made up my mind to be in this particular area in engineering research, in maybe in automotives or mechanical area. Now maybe those skill sets, if I have to do a career change, if I have to do an industry change, where will those skill sets be valued, right? Or if I don't want to do an industry change, where will this in which industry, which organizations can I go as a step up? You're right now in Tata Motors, but which other organizations can be a step up? So all those thought processes maybe you should be thinking about and putting it in your essays, to the extent that at ISB I'm looking at doing up this particular specializations. So when you are ready to do fill in an ISB application, you might want to look at what specializations ISB offers in terms of functional specializations, what specialization ISB offers in terms of industry specializations, and then talk about this is the particular specialization I want to do because these are the kind of skill sets which will complement my existing skill set which I already have and which I can really showcase very well. And with this skill sets, I'll become very attractive to this particular industry where I want to build a career. For example, you might want to go into Siemens in a senior role. After 4 years of work experience, you might want to go there and work in Siemens. You might want to go there and work in a lot of other technical organizations, which I'm sure a lot of them come to ISB. So that is a level of then thought process which will need to go once you are ready to write your essays, right? So this was what about essays. Now we come to the second essay where we talk about what are the this year's topic for the second essay is of course the second essay is on self-awareness, but topic is one quality which immediately enhances your potential to be your leadership potential. What is the one quality which you possess? So this essay is actually a opportunity for you to showcase as a person. So you have to be true to yourself and identify what is it that makes me work as a person apart from my work, apart from my studies. So if you mention any of your other activities, yeah, so you have talked about your patents and notarization. You talked about your technical skills. You have talked about your talks and seminars. You have talked about your key scholastic achievements. You have talked about your where you have presented papers in different organizations, right? So yeah, extracurriculars, you have again secured third position in technical quiz, right? Ranked 2591 in Snackdown, an annual competitive programming challenge. Participated in Express and presented review paper at Genesis. So now, if I have to ask you one quality or one area which makes you a leader, which immediately enhances your potential of being, what will it be? What kind of a leader would you be? There are different types of leadership styles, like leadership by example, leadership by knowledge, leadership by uh, your social standing, and so on and so forth. So what from a profile, what can we will you say is your leadership style? Why would people want to come and listen to you, or want to follow you, want to come and uh, 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 follow you? Yeah.
I would go by the leadership with knowledge, because the role which I already hold in a Tata Motors. So if you can go to the WorkX of my CV, then you can find there was a section for the failure investigation team. So I was part of not a part of failure investigation. I was a head of the failure investigation team. So it started because, first of all, because of my masters which I did in the solid mechanics. So I was the first person in our 18 team members team who was having masters in that domain. So I was picked up as a head for that. Later on, and there were multiple challenges, like during the development we need to do the failure investigation that needed the multiple round of interaction with all the supplier around the globe. There were many technical intricacies which was not explored anyway. If it is occurring in the development state, that means there was a gap during the design of a particular component. So I would rather prefer to be a leader from the technical aspect, which not only shows how I behave, but also uh, puts me in the upfront because of the role or the knowledge which I am having. So my peers can think that, okay, if we get a chance to be part of work with him, then we can also acquire the knowledge which he is having.
Perfect. So that's what I wanted to hear. If you said something else, there would have been red flags in terms of, maybe whether you understand yourself better or not. Because your whole profile, if you see in terms of your achievements, it has been, patents, being presenting papers. It's more to do about knowledge, acquiring knowledge, and then people will flock to you because you have that knowledge and they know that they will learn something from you. So that's your leadership style, and that's what you should focus on in your essays also. So that's consistent theme will come in. So the whole idea for a lot of others also who are listening here is that, your profile should have that consistent theme. Whatever you talk about, whether you are a technical person, then you should be talking about how those skill sets you're going to use in your this thing. Wherever there is a break from the consistency in your profile, that's when, people start questioning a lot. That's when people start, you start getting stuck in interviews. But in this whole profile, if you see, it's a there has been a lot of consistency. Whatever Romil has said, whatever Romil has written, same thing he has discussed with us as well. So that is something which all of us should strive to put in our profiles. Consistency. If you can be consistent in your story, in your arguments, and I think then that should be more than enough for your essays and profile and interview as well. Because in the interview also, you'll be more or less be grilled on your whole profile. We don't ask you questions on knowledge, or we don't ask you questions on a stress interview. It's more on a discussion on what your profile is. So that's my takeaway for this particular profile as well. And to all the others, be consistent, just like what Romil has been in his particular profile. He's got a niche experience. He wants to use that experience to go into a particular area in ISB. He's post ISB, and it's clear why he wants to come to ISB and not an XYZ college or somewhere else. So that's what we would look at in terms of profile. So Romil, do you have any question, any other questions as apart from this?
Yeah. So as you explained that I need to focus on the certain roles which ISB, this course which ISB is offering. So looking at my profile, what you would suggest best fit for me? And one more thing which I missed, the work which we are doing in at the Tata Motor, it's like internal consulting providing to the project team. So there is a central now for the project team, where we are as an expert providing consulting for a certain role only from a complete vehicle side. So it is a bit of internal consulting. So how I should focus on the picking up the courses, and which picks you would suggest?
See, so as I'm just giving you positive examples from here. So as you said that you do an internal consulting to different departments. Your department is an internal consultant to various departments. So as part of that particular role, you would have picked up a lot of skills which are required by consultants in terms of stakeholder management. You're working with people not in a hierarchy, but you're working in people with people in an advisory role. So there you pick up a lot of skill sets like stakeholder management, problem identification, problem solving, and so on and so forth. So these are ideal qualities which are required by consulting organizations. So consulting organizations such as McKinsey, Bain, or BCG, they look at people who are knowledge driven. They look at people who are problem solvers, and they look at people who have worked in those kind of or have acquired those skill sets in terms of stakeholder management, working with teams, working with people, versus being an individual contributor. So in your case, one thought process could be that you might want to go into consulting in automotive domain. A lot of organizations which come for consulting, they have different verticals. That could be your one area, right? So that's purely a research which you have to do. Now, if you want to go into consulting, then you already have the domain expertise. What other expertise will you need in terms of a consultant will need?
Sorry, I didn't get you.
So, if you let's say you decide to go into a consulting career post your ISB, and for that you already have the domain expertise or the domain experience here, and you also have those soft skills in terms of people management, stakeholder management, and so on and so forth. Now, what else is the skill set which you will need to make a successful career in consulting?
Sorry, but I am no much idea about it.
It's no problem. So you will require a knowledge of business, how business operates. You will require a knowledge of strategy, a bit of economics, right? And more or less a broad overview of cross-functional business knowledge, right? So in that case, what should be your strategy at ISB? What courses you should pick? Then you should look at doing a specialization, maybe one of the specializations in strategy, and then looking at picking up various courses in economics or a few in finance and few in marketing to get a broad cross-functional knowledge of an organization. You already have skill sets in terms of the domain, but then you pick up the business knowledge at ISB, and that is how you prepare for a consulting career. If that is what you want to go, there are a lot of other options also which you can think through and plan through. And but if you want to go, then this is how you should plan your ISB, and that is what you will write in your essays also. So no need to go always in such level of detail, but if for somebody like you who has already got a very specific profile, who has got that kind of thought process that this is what I want to do post ISB, you can go into one level more detail of what kind of skill sets you want to pick up at ISB, right? So that will definitely, you will definitely come across as a very, or somebody with a very clear purpose of why you want to come to ISB or why you want to do an MBA, right? And what you want to do post an MBA. If that's clear, then mostly it's smooth sailing in the interviews and the profile evaluations. The main purpose of your profile, to build a profile, should be to have a clarity on your current skill sets, what skill sets you applied, you get at ISB, and how will you use those two to build a career. If you have that clarity, then I think that should be fine.
Yeah, thanks a lot.
Sure. So that's it. We'll then move on to the next candidate. Yeah.
Right. So I think we can move to Vinayak or Abhishek, Amit, whichever you want to take up first.
Sure. I'll just open the resume, whichever opens up first. Second. How do I?
And meanwhile, if anybody wants to get tips on building their profile, you can leave your number in the chat window, and one of our counselors can get back to you. So we'll certainly reach out to you. And at the end of the session, because we can only accommodate 4 people here, so we will nominate 10 people who can get one-on-one session with ISB. So just leave your numbers, and we will definitely get back to each one of you. For those who have already left, no need to type again. We'll definitely get back to you as we have it in our chats. So, Amit.
So we'll now start with Vinayak.
Vinayak, let's have you, Vinayak. Vinayak is there. Vinayak, if you can unmute yourself. Prashant, you can unmute Vinayak.
Yeah, just a second. He's joining.
Hi Vinayak, how are you today?
Sir, I'm good. How are you?
I'm good as well. So, I hope you've got a lot of ideas from the last profile evaluation per se, on the generic profile evaluation which we do at ISB. But now
Right.
we'll take examples from your profile, and then we can take questions from you on particular aspects of your profile as well. So, just to reiterate once again that we look at 5 factors while we are doing a profile evaluation for the candidate for selection for the interview. The 5 factors are your ACADS, your work history, your achievement or GRE score, your essays, and your recommendation, letter of recommendation, which is essentially just a validation of what all you have written in your other sections. So now if you look at Vinayak, we look at your ACADS. Yeah. So you have your bachelor's in technology from EC from MDU, and it's in 2014, and that's an 80% aggregate. Uh, so how would that be in terms of your uh, class size? Where will you be in your class? Would it be in top 10%, top 20%, or top 30% of your class?
So this would be in the top 15.
Top 15%. That's great. So again, as I mentioned before, in ACADS, it's going to be based on your subject, based on your course which you're doing, based on your university which you college you're done, based on the scores. So here, MDU is a recognized university. It's rated highly at ISB, and if you're in top 15%, you should get definitely get more than above average score in your academic profile, right? So now when we move to next, now I want to discuss on your case the work experience part more, right? In terms of work experience, what do we do? So you have mentioned your work experience. You have graduated in 2014, and now you have 6 years of work experience, right?
Right.
Yeah, across Ministry of Education. That's part time.
So,
IBM.
yeah. So my full-time work ex starts from IBM, goes to Zomato, and then Oyo. The other experience that you see is basically my additional and part-time experiences that I've done alongside my full-time experience.
True caller. Okay, great.
So I've written it clearly that this role was handled alongside full-time experience. So I had an NOC to do it.
Right. Got it. Right. Okay. So now when we come to work experience at ISB, again, work experience has 2 components. One is your job progression in terms of how you have progressed in your job, different jobs. So here you have more than 6 years of work experience. So this will come into play here. Your work experience component will be in fact very important because you're right now the ideal candidate in terms of the average work experience at ISB. So we have around 4.8 years of average work experience, but we have significant people above that as well. So you are right now in the sweet spot of 4 to 7 years or 8 years, which is like what we look at ISB. So that two aspects to work experience. One is your job progression, and second is your job achievements. So if you look at your progression in job, so you started with IBM or the Zomato?
IBM.
Okay, IBM, you work for 2 years as a business technology analysis, where you have been incident program management, identify incidents, productive working technology. So you have kind of familiarized yourself with technology part of thing here, right? Then you moved on to Zomato, which was a startup, right? And you have been there a sales and growth manager. Again, a big step up from the last organization where you were just getting familiar with technology. Here you are now getting into the actual business side of the organization, right? So strategic sales and growth management, and you have worked there for almost 1.5 years. So which is fair because startups usually people have that kind of work experience. Now you have also mentioned here in terms of your achievements, uh, delivered MOM growth rate of 10% for the time period and added 1,000 plus restaurants, 600 were Zomato exclusive to the overall merchant base, right? Analyze online traffic trends to identify cross-sell opportunities for high revenue customers, grew ad revenues by 300% and achieved 100% customer retention over 1 year. Now, this may be good numbers. This may look good numbers, but for example, look at it from somebody who is evaluating a profile. he or she may not be part of this particular industry. So you might need to benchmark these numbers as well, right? So for example, if you say analyze online traffic trends to identify cross-sell opportunity for high revenue customers, grew ad revenue by 10% and achieved 100% customer retention over 1 year. Was it like the industry also grew at the same percent, or Zomato itself grew at the same percent? Is there some benchmark to this? How good these numbers are? If you can also show that, that will really add a lot of value in your job achievements part, right? Increased percent discount on orders from 29% to an all-time high of 40%. That okay, all-time high. This is something which is really good. And in turn, increased retention of new users by 1%. That's okay. So numbers are there. That's something good which you can show your job achievements, but add some benchmarking there for somebody who may not be part of the industry or who may not be aware of a particular organization. That will help when you fill this in the actual application form. Right now, next we move on to, after Zomato, you moved on to enterprise sales for okay, you've been part of OYO. First you were enterprise sales, then identifying emerging markets, and then actively led market initiatives into size of business with existing clients, ensuring percentage churn and NPS of corporate. So what percentage is it?
So like you want.
Okay, in ensuring percentage churn and NPS score of corporate. Okay, fine, got it. Increase and maintain company take profit, led increase in take rate by 100% from 7% to 14%. Okay, again here you might want to benchmark the numbers a bit. That's my only comment here, but this looks good. Now, if you look at your overall this thing, you were there for a year in as a manager, enterprise sales, and then within a year you moved on to deputy lead, right? Enterprise sales and partnership. That this also shows your job progression, that you have progressed in your job. And then thirdly, after that, within another, okay, this is concurrent, okay, your additional responsibilities. That's what you're saying, right? Lead supply acquisition, or is it like till, this is till 10/20 and August 20, and from then onwards you are moved on to lead supply acquisition?
So it actually ended in July, and I moved in August to a new role.
Okay, that's great. So that shows progression. So here you are a deputy lead, and here you are a lead. Now, if I look at your overall profile, starting from last 6 months, in the last 6 years, starting from a technical role in IBM, which was just a starting entry-level role, which you have got from your college, you have moved into a startup where you are working strategic sales and growth, which is a challenging area, especially the times those were there. And then again, you moved on to another startup, and then you have progressed there in the last 3 years. So you have moved on from manager to deputy lead to lead, and your responsibilities have been increasing every year on year, right? So this is something which shows high potential. This is something which shows growth. This is something which will work highly in your favor in terms of your work experience. So this is why I wanted to highlight this particular aspect of your work experience, that work experience is not just the kind of organizations you work in, but it's also the job progressions which you have done. And in the application form will also capture the salary details. So that also is a parameter which we look at. Of course, not fully we rely on that, but that's also the parameter which we look at for the progression which you have had in your particular career. So this is one thing I want to highlight to all the others also, that work experience, 2 components: job progression, again half of the scores, and job achievements, other half of the scores. So in terms of achievements, you have mentioned about the growth and others, but if you have any awards, if you have anything like customer of the employee of the month, or whatever awards your particular industry has or organization has, mention them there, and then
So I mentioned that in the second, the deputy lead one. If you can scroll it, like awarded best deputy lead.
Market in India in quarter 1 and quarter 2 financial year to 2019-20. Great. Yeah. So so that will go in your application in the job achievements part, right? So for all the people, again, I'm saying that 2 things from this example you bring out, the talk about the job progression, which is again an important part, and the job achievements. Now, Vinayak, do you have any question on the work front?
So around work experience, I want to know that alongside my work I did a couple of projects which were consulting, which I did a lot of pro bono freelance projects. In a 1.5 pager CV that ISB will expect. Like I cannot submit this CV to you guys. It's a 3 pager one. How can I fit a lot of these experiences in one and still be relevant as a candidate?
So, as I said, Vinayak, we do not go by the CV alone. We ask you to upload a CV, which is just a reiteration of the application form. But in the application itself, will capture all the details. So, for example, if you have done projects, if you have done internships, you can always show them as part-time work experience, right? So that can be mentioned as a part-time experience. In the application form itself, there'll be a option to add work experience, and there you select part-time and enter all those things. So the application form is very comprehensive. We are in fact updating it, and next year you'll find that there's a new application form. But you have the option to add them as part-time work experience. As I said earlier, that in terms of full-time experience, 3 criteria. It should be full-time experience. It should be paid, and it should not be concurrent with any of your other activities. But if it's concurrent, feel free to add them as part-time work experience, because that will also show the kind of skill sets you have built in. So even in your particular CV or profile, I see a story being built. A person graduating in ECE, working for 2 years in tech, and then moving on to the startup where you have grown significantly. Now, next question is, what next? So you already are in a startup. You already have acquired, you have acquired a lot of skills in a startup like Oyo, which is fast growing, fast learning. Now, what next? Why an MBA, and what do you want to get from an MBA? So that's a very important question for all the people. So in terms of your experience now, good, but what next now?
So alongside my full-time experiences, I just realized that I had a lot of vacant hours and I wanted to utilize them. So if you can scroll down, you will spot a section that says part-time experiences, wherein I, like, by virtue of my skill sets and my profile, I uh, uh, gained confidence in approaching CXOs and told them that this is what I bring to the table and I want to do a consulting project with you. And these two brands were an example of that. I worked with the leadership team of Truecaller India and helped them expand and build up strategies in India. It was a complete pro bono project, an unpaid project. I had an NOC from Zomato to do it. Again, the second one was IIC. This is an organization which is an arm of Chicago Booth University, which sends talents to government organizations. So by virtue of these projects, I did consulting projects, and that just gave me an exposure to consulting without even getting into the field of it. And now, after working in Oyo and Zomato and IBM, I just feel that I want to try my hands out in consulting, because I've gained an exposure in varied industries, and I feel that I will do justice in an industry like consulting, and it will be a good challenge for me. So that's one story that I want to bring along with my profile.
Right. So now that you want to go into consulting after your this thing, having been part of some consulting assignments, and having been part of a fast growing startup where you've been exposed to various functions, various uh, which you will not otherwise have experienced in an organization like IBM. So you have now industry knowledge, right? Or hands-on knowledge of how businesses work, at least startups work. Now, what would you want to do to augment this knowledge to become a consultant? So what knowledge, what else do you need to become a consultant now? Let's say with McKinsey or BCG or Bain, or let's say even Accenture or other ones.
I feel I would want to gain an overall strategy focused knowledge within ISB that would help me gain like an overview of cross functional management, how exactly functions work, and then implement those knowledge, the ones that I learn at ISB alongside the 6-year skill set that I bring to the table to do well in a consulting organization.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
I come from a field of non-tech. Like I did not study economics or finance at all, and I think this would be a good chance to fill that gap in my profile that I lack. I feel that I lack those skills, and I do not want to be somebody who has this gap in the profile and cannot exceed.
Got it. But now let's say even in your current organization and in Zomato and others, you're working more on the business side of things.
Right.
So do you find that you were handicapped by not knowing marketing or not knowing finance or not knowing, let's say, economics?
I had to learn from scratch. So I have learned things from scratch, but the reason I want to go to ISB is to excel in those areas. Like I do have a great superficial knowledge about a lot of things because I've worked in startups, and startups make you learn a lot every day. But I want to just excel and make myself a master in those skills.
Yeah.
That's the reason.
Exactly. So very important point here, which Vinayak has raised, and for all the participants. So he said that he learned marketing from scratch without doing an MBA. He learned finance or other things which are required for organization, and anybody can do that. So once you get hands-on on a job, you can start learning marketing, finance, strategy on the job from the scratch. But then why do we need to come to an institute like ISB or any other institute to do an MBA? Is that one, it accelerates your learning. What will take you to 10 years to learn from scratch to reach that particular level, you will do that in one particular year of learning from top people, from top faculty, and from various cases. And you will learn in depth. So you will not have superficial learning. You'll go in depth of those case studies or those subjects, which will then help you take better decisions or reach those top roles faster. So that's one reason why people will want to do an MBA. People like Vinayak who are already working in startups and business related roles will want to do an MBA, right? So that's what I will want to stress on. And you have said it very correctly, Vinayak, that you want to excel in those things, or you want to. By that, I believe you mean you want to get more depth of knowledge in those particular areas and learn it faster. Okay. Now, second, so one of your essays is now what we discussed. What is next after this particular thing? Now, if you look at the second essay. As a person, what drives you, or what are the qualities which will which make you a leader, or what drives you? What will you say that be?
One quality that I have felt all these years, like within like 5-6 years of my non-tech or tech experience, is that I can grow and start things from scratch and take them to a level wherein they just do well in an organization. And I've done that in past in Zomato, in Oyo. I've been doing it in Oyo, starting things from scratch and taking them forward. So that's one quality of leadership style that I feel that I carry with myself, wherein I am not afraid to take challenging roles and do them well, and grow certain new things which can be thrown at me.
Correct. So that's also visible in your CV. So when you say you want to build things from scratch, that requires initiative, that requires curiosity, that requires a strong will to learn new things or look at uncharted waters, and all that is coming out from your CV as well, where you are doing this independent business consulting apart after your free time. So a lot of people will just look at their day job and say, okay, I have done my job today, and I'm now going on and doing my playing with PSG or getting on Netflix. But the fact that you have taken time out after a job to do assignments with Truecaller or Ministry of Education, and then if you can talk about them, this is a big plus. And this tells us about the qualities I just mentioned: initiative, curiosity, willingness to or a strong will to learn new things. So that could be a base for your first test if you want to talk about the self-awareness part. So that's purely evident from your profile as well. So for all of you who want to ask questions on how we should plan for essays, so this is how you should plan for essay. Get your profile ready. Look through what is the one consistent thread running through all the activities which you have done, and that will help you answer your questions on how to write a good essay. Yeah. So anything else, Vinayak, from your side?
So apart from the CV that ISB ask us to like fill in within your platform, you also ask us to submit a one-pager.
Yes.
Considering the CV that I have, alongside the full-time experiences, I do have a lot of part-time. And if you scroll down, you will see additional experiences within my extracurricular activities.
Exactly.
How exactly do I fit all of them together to like be relevant?
So as of now, it's 2, 3, 4, 4-page CV, right?
Right.
So the thing is, just give the bare minimum details in your CV, and the details you can a bare minimum snapshot of your profile. The details you can give in your application. So we
Okay.
go through mainly your application per se. The CV is just a snapshot for the reviewer to look at and see, what profile he is going to review after this. But the application gets reviewed in detail. Whatever you fill in, all the work history, all the achievements, all that gets reviewed in detail. So mention all that there. In this case, you can remove the photo maybe, and then just mention 2-3 lines against each experience. That should be fine.
Okay, I just have this one last question, which is against the type of scholarships that ISB offers. So by virtue of working with a student in an organization called ISEC, ISB, I could actually spot ISEC and ISB scholarship on the website, and which says that you guys offer that to 2 individuals. Is
It's
that
there.
still
Yeah.
valid?
It's valid. It's valid. So it's there on the website also currently, and it's valid. So it is once you become ISB students, then there's a call for the scholarships which you apply for, and then you get it from.
Okay, so there's nothing I can mention in an additional CV, additional essay that I want the scholarship or anything.
In the application form, you can click this thing. Application form, there is a checkbox for scholarships. That
Okay.
do you want to be considered for scholarships? If you click yes, then you can also click on the ISEC scholarship.
Okay.
And if
Okay.
ISEC is mentioned, then we'll automatically consider you for that.
Perfect. Perfect. Thanks a lot. Thank you.
Sure.
So Amit, we'll move to the next one. We are a little bit behind schedule, so we'll make it more faster now, I think.
Sure. So next is Abhishek. Yeah.
Abhishek, please come up on the screen. You can unmute yourself. Okay, so Prashant, can you unmute Abhishek Bhattacharya?
Yeah, I'm trying to find him.
I think
Attendees
he's
panel.
written
I
a
can
chat.
see. Yeah, I can see that.
Yeah.
Abhishek, can you just raise your hand?
So what we try to do here is take different profiles so you can get maximum learning out of this webinar. So this is an interesting entrepreneurial profile where I think he has more of entrepreneurial experience.
Shivani, can you just try from your end because I'm not able to do it.
Okay. One second. Yeah, I can't find him in the attendees. So
Exactly.
we'll move to Siddharth next then.
Abhishek, you may want to
Back.
join it again from a different
Yeah.
device. We have never seen this, something like this. So sorry about that.
And we'll take up your profile next time, I think so. So we'll take up.
So I'll then.
So Siddharth is there.
Are we going with Siddharth Khera?
Yeah, Siddharth Khera, yeah.
Let Amit find his resume then.
Yeah, I have, I think.
Yeah, let me just give me a minute.
Hi, Amit sir. Good evening.
Good evening, Siddharth. How are you?
I'm doing good. Thank you.
Siddharth. So let's start with your acads first. So you're from IIT Roper, and what was your score in IIT?
Yeah. So my GPA was 7.07 on a scale of 10.
7.07 on, okay. And how does it relate to your overall class?
It
Sai?
was in the top 50%. So in a batch of around 40 students, I was ranked like 16th or 17th.
That's okay. That's fine. That's great. So again, your score will be around above average in the ACADS front. So top 50 plus from IIT, and you also would have a G rank or something, I guess, which you can mention in the application. So that should give you a good, at least an above average score in your ACADS. Now let's come to the experience part. So you're currently working as an analyst in Boston Consulting for the last 1.5 years now, right? So in terms of your experience at Boston, what would be your job progression and what will be your achievements there in the last 1.5 years?
Yeah, so I started working as an analyst, business analyst in the past 1.5 years, and I've worked with multiple clients and other companies who are within top Fortune 500 companies of the world. And I've done some projects, as you can see, in helping them elevate their businesses and reach their targets, specific business goals, and solving their business problems. Those are the things that I've worked on. So I've highlighted like 4 or 5 examples in this resume, as you can see.
Okay, so you have worked with a global manufacturing firm, you have worked with a US education institute, and you have worked with one of India's largest NBF companies. So, what was the duration of the assignments per se for the last, 1.5 years? 6 months each?
Not really 6 months, like the typical assignment lies between 1.5 to 3 months.
1.5 to 3 months. Okay,
Yeah.
got it. And prior to that, you were working with the driver development engineer in Finisar Corporation. So, what is that about?
So that was this job was related to my educational background that I did in my graduation. So it was in semiconductors industry, in electronics industry, and it was more of a technical role where I worked on developing semiconductor chips and other devices and making them compatible with software devices.
So, okay, so from semiconductor to Boston. So, what made you switch from the technical role which you had after IIT to a consulting organization?
Yeah, so while working for Finisar, my role was very technical heavy, and I was supposed to finish certain tasks that were pre-handed to me based on certain instructions. And I was not able to see the kind of impact my work is doing. And it was not visible to me that how is it impacting anything socially or economically or industrially. And that's why I decided to switch to a more analytical aspect of a business where I can see my work having that impact and how progress that is shown by working with these companies. Yeah.
Okay, so so apart from the impact which you've seen, what all skill sets do you think you've gained from BCG?
So how the businesses actually work and what are the key driving factors that help them achieve what they are trying to achieve, and how do they create such an impact on a large scale? How do they deal with their customers? How they actually put customers up front and devise all of their strategies in making the customers happy and trying to meet their demands and needs. That is one such skill set that you learn from working with these companies.
And how do you think the skill sets will be useful to you in your future career or per se?
So since I've already had some experience in the management consulting industry, I can take it one step further. So right now I'm working as an analyst who assists the consultants by taking the sort of business problem and solve them in a technical standpoint of view. But if I move to one step further, I can actually be involved in solving those business problems, coming up with more evasive strategies and developing the business goals, etc.
Okay, so you want to continue in consulting industry post ISB as well?
Yeah, so that is my primary target since I already have some experience and I find myself being easily adapting to this industry. I'd like to continue in this field. Yeah.
Okay, so here what I'll want to give you as a suggestion is that when you talk about, of course, you the work experience part, you have as of now 2 years of work experience, right? Uh, till 2.5 years of work experience. So you can talk about your progression and your achievements, which definitely you mentioned here very well, because that's all I can see in the CV. I don't have other thing to go. But what I want to talk to you about in terms of an interaction is that when you talk about your particular reasons for moving to doing an MBA. When you say that, you said that you wanted to now get into the consulting side of things, work with a consultant, actually solve the problem rather than working on the technical side of it. So I'll suggest that even now you talk about the key takeaways which you get from your particular job is the technical part of it. In the first job, you're doing it more of a technical role in terms of working with the influencer, a technical role, a technical orientation. But in the second job, what has changed is you're doing the same technical things, but now you have more people exposure. Now you have more business exposure. But in terms of your role, it's still mainly technical, and that's understandable because you are currently just starting off your career. You just done a course, BTech undergrad course, 2.5 years back. But still, you are in a very good position right now where you can launch your career in the consulting because you're already working in a consulting organization in a technical role. You understand the technical nuances, you understand how to arrive at a solution. But now you want, and you understand how consultants interact with the clients and the various organizations. But now you want to gain those business skills and move into that actual consultant roles, right? So that's how I'll suggest you structure your application or your overall message in the profile which you want to build up for ISB, rather than saying that you are already in a consulting organization and you want to move to consultant. This last part of the thing is more important in your case. So focus on what skill sets you've got. It's mainly technical skill sets, but mainly how to build a solution using technology, and that thing is more important for you right now. And those skill sets will eventually help you become a better consultant.
Okay, yeah, that makes sense. Thanks a lot.
Yeah, so that would be my suggestion because I don't have anything else to go by in your resume right now. It's more of your work related one. So I can give you instance on work experience. But if you want to talk more about your personal side, if you have any questions on that, I'll be happy to answer any questions.
Yeah. So in terms of work experience only, I had one particular question. So let's say I already have some experience in this industry, but maybe if I want to explore the non-consulting industry as well, so that I can take a better decision what field I want to choose after MBA, maybe a product management side. How much will that impact my overall storylining and the message that I want to convey? Will that be a negative factor that I am not yet convinced in my future path, or like how does it go?
Not at all. It will not affect negatively in your case. If it's somebody with 6-7 years of work experience already, with some kind of skill sets which are not transferable to other organizations, it might be a bit of a concern. But in your case, you're just 2.5 years old. You have just started work up your career. So in your case, you have a lot of options there. And the whole point of ISB is to have choices, right? The whole point of ISB is to have various choices where you can move into different careers. So in your case, just identify, even if you're taking something like a product management or some other area, identify the skill sets which you've got from your current roles and how they'll be applicable for your future jobs in product management, right? So that kind of a story can be built. For example, if you can talk about any of your consulting assignments, either at Global Lens or maybe in this largest, look at how those skill sets will augment your story for the product management. So as of now, the story need not be just one thing. It can be anything, but then you have to bring those skills into play. It's more about logic than about one particular thing which we actually want to do. And it's not hard and fast that what the application, that's what you will end up doing. Because once you go to ISB, you will have a lot more exposure. You will see that this is something which you had just not factored in, and you take a totally different turn as well in terms of your career and what you want to do post ISB. So that's totally understandable. We understand that. But what at this point we want to understand is whether there is some sort of logical thinking behind your decision to do an MBA, or it's just that you want to do an MBA, so you want to do an MBA. Just because it's there to be done, you're doing it. So that's not what we're looking at. We're looking at whether you're thought through something, there's some logic behind it. That's it. So whatever you say, the logic should follow. That's the whole takeaway from this interaction for the audience as well.
Yeah, thanks a lot. And one last thing that you mentioned that my current CV is very work experience heavy. So what other thing that I can highlight in the one pager CV that has to be uploaded? Of course, rest of the stuff can be uploaded on the application form, which you already mentioned. But in terms of the one pager that has to be uploaded, what other things should I target?
Maybe any hobbies, any interests, any volunteer activity, anything you do as a person. Could be
Yeah.
music. It need not be something which you have a certificate, but whatever you need to, reading maybe, So anything like that which you can put in, that will be helpful.
Certainly. Thanks a lot, Amit sir. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Yeah. So thank you, participants, and thank you, Amit, for sharing these insights. I think they will help everyone in this group, and definitely it was very useful. We'll just take a few questions in the end now. So if you could just glance through the chat window, Amit, and see if you want to, if there are any relevant questions to this discussion. I do see many candidates want to know about YLP and early entry options, but I think the agenda of this session was not covering the particular programs that ISB is offering. So probably ISB does conduct more sessions which are geared towards these candidates. So anything, Amit, that you want to cover?
Unfortunately, I'm not able to open the chat window, so I cannot read the questions. If there are any question you want to read out, I'll be happy to answer.
Sure, I'll read out some questions then. One second. Okay, there's a question on that a person is having a startup along with the full-time job. So I think that could be covered in the part-time experience, as you've explained.
Covered in the part-time experience. It will be a part-time work experience.
Right. There's a question: what expectation does ISB expect from a candidate who want to enter through EEO program?
Okay, so people who want to enter through EEO program, again, since your work experience will be lesser, you might want to showcase more of your, extracurriculars, more of your motivations to join, do an MBA, and just link your current skill set, as I said, link what you are doing currently with what you want to do post ISB. So that should take care of it. So look at maybe more of work, more of your extracurriculars and all those things which can substitute your work experience.
Right. And then there's a question about gap year. So somebody having a gap year, is it a big negative, as this person was preparing for army exams or CA exams, could not get in?
So we don't view anything negatively, but of course, you might be asked those questions. Why is there a gap year? And if you answer honestly and without getting defensive, that should not be a problem at all. We understand life happens. We understand people prepare for entrance examination, especially in certain states. People take a year off to prepare for AEEE or ITG. So that's totally understandable. That should not be any concerns on those grounds.
Okay. And the next one is, how important are extracurricular activities for someone with 5+ years of work experience?
Yeah, so somebody with 5+ work of extracurricular activities, we see how we try to come to a kind of a conclusion on your self or on the profile of the candidate based on what kind of activities he or she has done, what kind of experiences he or she brings in through those activities. But somebody with 5 years of work experience, we already have a lot of information on the work front itself. So we know that if you've done 5 years of work experience, you will have mentioned that in detail. So in that case, the extracurriculars will not have much of a weightage. But if you can show something, it will definitely add, but it will definitely not subtract from not having them will not subtract from your profile as such.
All right, sure. So I'm just checking for some last questions if somebody wants to ask any last question. Okay. I do see a lot of questions about YLP. So Amit, any idea when ISB is going to do a YLP webinar?
So in fact, we have a YLP webinar tomorrow itself. you can go to a website, or we can register for the session. So YLP applications are currently on. Please visit our website and start applying for YLP. The applications are on, and we'll have a session tomorrow. We'll have a session again next Friday, and you can go to a website and register for those sessions as well.
Okay, and one more question, which is about from a candidate with 15 years of work ex and CA by qualification. So how will ISB view such candidates?
So we have had people in the last batch who had 20 years of work experience. So we have had somebody who was a doctor, in fact, and was 46-year-old and came to ISB in a few years back because he or she wanted to start their own chain of hospitals. So it's totally what motivations you have to come to ISB. We are age agnostic, we are background agnostic. So it's totally purely on whether you have a purpose, whether you will be able to, what you want to do post ISB after getting MBA degree. That's more important to us. We don't look at age or your background. All are welcome as long as you have a clear reason on why you want to come to ISB and do an MBA from here.
Right. So this one last question, which is how do you view a diverse profile? And I think we will end at that. So last comments from you.
Sure.
On a diverse profile.
So we believe in having a diverse cohort at ISB. Shivani, you yourself are an alum, so you can definitely vouch for that. But at ISB, every year we get people from various backgrounds. We have army officers, at least 5 or 6 army officers every year. We have people who are from the sports background. In fact, Mr. Viren Raskina, a former hockey captain and Olympian, was part of the batch some years back. Former Miss India was part of the batch 2 years back. Then we have people from the aviation industry, people from the fashion industry. So every year we, ensure that we get diversity in our classrooms, because diversity will help not just in case discussions, but also in the campus life, where you can, learn from your peers and get inspired from them. So being a large cohort, 900 students every year, we can do that. So we have people from various backgrounds. In fact, people about 8 years or so work experience are around 30%, and that will be in fact more than class size of most of the top other schools in India. So yeah, if you want a diverse campus, ISB is a place to be.
Thank you so much. And that's all the time that we have got today. Thank you for this wonderful interaction. Thank you for taking out the time. And thank you, participants, for putting out your resumes and discussing it in a public forum for in the interest of everybody gets some sort of learning out of this event. And that's all from our end today. Stay safe. Goodbye. Thank you, Amit.
All the best. Thank you, Shivani, for having me here.
Okay, bye-bye.
Bye.